All right, I wanted to go ahead and do this video and talk about an entity by the name of Dan Arcienega, who, while alive, was a cartel member and a rapist. Raped a lot of women, from what I understand, as well as a pedophile who's working with Raziel, which was summoned by one of the people who put this curse on me. His name is Andrew Fleischman. With that being said, this evil entity who doesn't like blacks, I'm going to go ahead and just say it like this. To make a long story short, without saying too much, this motherfucker got pulled from out of a hell realm to come and fuck with me over some timelines, which, I'm going to be honest with you, is not going to transpire. It's not going to happen. With that being said, this guy, in the astral plane, I appear as white. He was extremely, I'm not going to say nice, but a lot more congenial in that he was sexually harassing me, which is consistent with the way those motherfuckers are. We know what I'm talking about, them web bugs. They're evil and they're fucking nasty. I'm going to go ahead and say it. This motherfucker is extremely racist, like most of them. I'm going to go ahead and break it down why they are the way they are. With that being said, this demon see the Quetzalcoatl, as soon as he found out that in the physical realm that I'm black, wanted to kill me. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say for the record that this motherfucker went around fucking with my family, stealing the powers of my ancestors, raping them, and tormenting and torturing them, and giving them a hard time, as well as my higher selves, but especially them, and especially my black ancestors. He came at them with a fury like I've never seen before. I'm going to go ahead and say it again, like I said before. They are the way they are because they come from an evil entity, a god by the name of Quetzalcoatl. These motherfuckers in the spirit world operate at a frequency of 4,200, which is the same frequency of demons. We're talking about wetbacks. Not only that, them evil motherfuckers are major energy vampires in the spirit world. I've been trying to get rid of them off of my social media, psychically, spiritually, as well as in the physical. They seem, because I'm going to say this right now, they're innate energy vampires. It's inculcated in them, as well as racist. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. When the conquering Spaniards came to Mexico, and saw them, these people were a good friend of mine from España. In other words, Spain, described as being nothing but Indians. You say that we should stop calling them Spaniards and call them what they are, a bunch of fucking Indians. He had me cracking up. They came over, when the Spaniards came over, the real ones, they thought that they were their god. Because Quetzalcoatl, who comes from a reptilian background that's extremely hierarchical and very, very white supremacist in and of itself. Like at the top are the white reptilians. And there were videos talking about this a long time ago. They worship the conquering Spaniards. So to this day, they genetically, I'm going to say it right now, those motherfuckers are genetically evil. They're predisposed to be genetically evil and to be predisposed towards pedophilia and rape, just like that thing. I'm not going to even call them human. I call them creatures, or it, because that's exactly what they are. With that being said, they're predisposed to hate your black ass. And there's nothing you can do about it because it's in them. You know, I walk on Figueroa, for instance, but not in the capacity that you think. Sometimes because of the curse, just to get my mind off of things. And I'm going to say this right now, based on what I learned in the spirit world, they see all black women. Because you have to understand, with these low vibrational creatures we call wetbacks, they see all black women. They think in generalities because that's all they can think of. They're very, very low vibrational. I'm just going to say it like that. They're naturally, innately low vibrational. They automatically see all black women as sex objects. I be calling them wetback. I be calling them demon seeds of Quetzalcoatl, a, which hits them because it's accurate and it's true about them. And they have some type of telepathic communication amongst themselves where if you say something, even if you don't explicitly say it, I notice that they have a tendency to respond to it. Um, I used to talk about them on my website, toplessla.org, back in the day. With that being said, as soon as this demon seed found out that I'm black in the physical, he went at me with a fury like I've never believed. It's the same type of fury that I get when I call them out for what the fuck they are, even before I started calling them out for what they are. Like, I'm going to say it right now. I was very innocent way back in the day. Didn't fuck with anybody, didn't do anything to anybody. And these motherfuckers, out of jealousy, and because they saw the blessings that were coming to me, I had a lot. And I was supposed to do very, very well in my latter days, despite the curse, which was nothing like this shit here. It was a sacrifice curse, but it was nothing like this that was casted on me by Baron Samedi. I was supposed to get a lot of light and a lot of positive things coming to me. With that being said, these demon seeds jumped up in the path of me getting good fortune and positive things coming to me and blocked it in the spirit world. And starting off in my old neighborhood, here's a few that put that shit on me. That curse on me and got me living, I don't want to show you too much, in homeless shelters to this day. I'm going to say this right now. One of the people that put this shit on me, his name is Andrew Fleischman. From what I understand, he comes from the PCH. He's not a problem. In a way, I can understand because when I got to the PCH, I knew people would be fucking with me. I got raped a whole lot, beat up mainly by wetbacks. You know, they wouldn't do that shit that they did to me to a white woman. I've seen that astrally, spiritually, as well as physically. That's why I don't tolerate them. I don't tolerate them in my presence. I don't want them on my social media. If they come around, I'm just going to say it right like this. Them motherfuckers are not going to survive the motherfucking night. I'll put their ass in the timeline where, without saying too much, their asses will not physically wake up in this realm. They're going to wake up in another realm. And they're going to get tortured. I don't want them creatures around me. I don't want to have anything to do with them. With that being said, I got raped a whole lot by them. Physically assaulted. That's why I don't tolerate them. Because I'm going to say this right now. The reason why I mentioned Andrew Fleischman, in contrast to anybody else, is because, I'm going to say this right now. I've been fucked over by other groups of people, white, black, across the board. I can kind of understand where some of those people on the PCH are coming from, but I'm going to say this about the wetback. Those motherfuckers are genetically predisposed to be evil because they're created. They don't come from God. They come from a demonic creator by the name of Quetzalcoatl. Their gods are evil. You can look them up. All they do, unlike our gods, And, I'm not going to lie, in African societies, they do human sacrifice, but nothing like what these bloodthirsty motherfuckers do. Their gods are totally evil. I'm just going to say it like that. Those motherfuckers, they even have pictures. I'll show you. You can see them seated around, eating human flesh with their creator, their demonic reptilian creator, Quetzalcoatl. That's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with wetbacks. You have to be cold and very, very, just like I am, protective of your energy around you. I'm going to also say this right now. 6,000 hertz frequency, which is a frequency that only works on demonic evil entities, okay, is a frequency that only works on them. Only them, no other group of people. And it works on them only for a reason. And it's because they're innately evil. I'm going to go ahead and emphasize that right now. That's a frequency that only works on evil entities and it only works on them. With that being said, I've been trying to overcome the shit that I've been facing. And this motherfucker, who's supposed to be, I'll show you a picture of where he. That being said, this motherfucker has been tormenting me and my ancestors for the past couple of weeks. We've been trying to find all sorts of ways to dispatch him and get rid of him, and we cannot. Just like with most wetbacks, the energy vampires major. They like to steal your spiritual powers and abilities. And just like a cockroach, which is how they function, there's a reason why they call them Las Cucarachas and why they're saying that the way they breathe, just like roaches do, they're invading the country. It goes even deeper with that in the spirit plane about them. It goes a lot deeper. With that being said, that's how them motherfuckers are. They have a very, like I say, they operate at the same vibrational level as demons. 4,200 is where they vibrate. Them motherfuckers are very demonic. They have a hyper emphasis on stealing from your root chakra, sexual energy. That's why a lot of them are rapists and pedophiles. There's a spiritual reason behind why they are the way they are. And personally, I don't tolerate them in my presence if they come anywhere near me. I'm not going to say too much, but I'm not going to tolerate their existence around me. I tell them point blank where I'm coming from. I call them a wetback straight up and say, I don't talk to your kind. Keep it moving. Get the fuck away from me. I'm very cold towards them. And there's a reason for it. During this curse, I'm going to say this right now. They would call themselves helping in the spirit world. I saw that they were actually not only stealing and siphoning off of me and my ancestors, but blocking me from being able to free myself from this curse. That's why I don't deal with them creatures. That's why I don't have anything to do with them. Things got a lot better when I started cutting them off. When I started removing them off my social media. I don't cavort with them at all unless it's absolutely necessary. If I'm not going to a chicken place, if I'm not going to some store to cavort with them, I don't deal with them. If they talk mess, I'm going to say this right now. If they try to talk to me, I'm going to say this right now. Woke. Fuck this shit up. I'm not going to even talk to them. I'm not going to even explain shit. Just woke their ass. Because I'm going to say this, you get rid of them. Unlike white people, unlike black people who get the message, they don't get the message, especially in the spirit world. They graft themselves to people, just like this wet beaner bag has been doing to me. This creature beaner, just like they say creature feature, creature beaner. They attach themselves to you and latch on and suck up your energy. And if you try to get rid of them, I'm going to say this right now, they idolize the fuck out of white people because their God was a white man or present itself as a white man. They will latch on to you and try to affix themselves to you to the point where they get violent if you try to dispatch them. That's why it's in your best interest to just come off the way in which I do. Tell them, I don't talk to your kind. I don't deal with wetbacks. Get the fuck away from me. And I don't even look them in the eye because the minute you do, they're going to try to take your energy. Again, they vibrate at a frequency of 4,200. Do what you want with that info. Build shields made of 6,000 hertz frequency. There's also other frequencies you can use that can fuck them up. I got to think of them and get rid of them. They remind me of those creatures from They Live. They work like a single unit in the physical as well as in the spiritual plane because, again, you're dealing with a group of very low vibrational humans, and they often act as vessels for demonic entities. I'm also add that from experience. And they will suck up and siphon the life energy off of you. In my case, this demon seed that I've been combating in the astral plane, who initially presented itself, like I said, I saw it on the bus stop, near Church's Chicken, on Manchester and Figueroa. It presented itself as my spirit, not a spirit guide, but as an angelic being. But really, he was trying to get out of a hell realm. And really, that motherfucker was actually working for my enemies. He took over one of my higher selves, made her sign a soul contract so that he can siphon all of her abilities and powers from her. And he tried to do the same to my ancestors tonight in the spirit plane. He also let me go ahead and say it, because I've been trying to get rid of this creature. He also has been attacking, like I said before, mainly by black ancestors and stealing their spiritual powers and abilities. Recently, he latched on to that same spirit guide and turned himself into her angel, her over self, not her higher self, and stole a lot of her spiritual powers and abilities. It's a child. And me and my real spirit team and my spirit guides have been trying to figure out a way on how to get rid of it, this creature. Like I say, I've been saying this all along. Don't look. Wetbacks rely on you, falling for that whole line, hook, and sinker that, oh, we're the same color. Woo, 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 woo. Because of their low vibrational nature, they're very, very deceptive and they're tricky. Don't fall for that. They are not cut from the same cloth as you and other humans on this planet. They come from a demon, a reptilian demon by the name of Quetzalcoatl, who eats human flesh. They are not human like you and I, and they operate very different, unlike any other race of people on this earth. They're not of God. They're of something very, very evil. And I'm going to go ahead and emphasize it. They're not like you and I. They are not of the light. They are evil, pure evil. And that's their genetic predisposition. What created them is what makes them who they are. I'll even go as far as to say we all come from different alien races and species. The Indians got the blue gods. We, from what I learned during this curse, we actually come direct from God Himself. Those motherfuckers, on the other hand, come from that demonic reptilian. The Asians had dragons just like they did in medieval Europe, but they were nothing evil like these motherfuckers. Nothing at all. These motherfuckers are engineered to be pure evil and to work as a unit. That's why they make great hard workers, but not smart. And I'll even go on as to say, based on what I saw in the spirit world, they need to be wiped out. I'll say that right now. With that being said, this evil motherfucker, I don't want them creatures anywhere near me, took over my higher self, one of my spirit guides, and tried to control her so he could control me and get access to my spiritual abilities and powers and siphon off of that and feed off of that, just like what most wet bucks do. People put too much emphasis on white people, black people, that is. White people do what they do out of fear of white genetic annihilation. There's a human reason behind why they do what they do. But these beaners, them demons, Caesar Quetzalcoatl, do what they do because they are pure malevolent. Don't deal with them. Do not copulate with them creatures, especially, like I say, they vibrate at the same frequency as demons, 4200. So they feed off of low vibrational behaviors like sex. They feed off your sacral chakra. I'll see them staring at me and I'll put up a shield of 6K hertz frequency and something even more, so as to protect myself and keep them away from me. Because I know this, like I'm going to say this right now, in the past, they had one that was driving down Wilshire Boulevard, and she trying to get rid of this evil motherfucker. Like I say, he's supposed to be a spirit guide or something, and then an angel, but he's really a fucking demon. But they made him, this other guy's Raziel turned him into a fucking angel. But anyways, with that being said, getting back to what I was saying before, these motherfuckers, they feed off of low vibrational energy because they're low vibrational. Don't deal with them. Don't interact with them unless it's absolutely necessary. I was going to say, back in the day, they had a wetback that was looking at me, a female in her car. And she was staring at me saying, you have great spiritual powers and abilities. And this is before I started learning about the wetback. Next thing I know, during the duration of this curse, I actually learned that she was one of the persons who cursed me to steal my shit. And it was all wetbacks. I kept talking about Baron Samedi, but it's actually, in fact, all wetbacks. With that being said, the way she stared at me like one did recently, I woke them right on the spot. I don't play around with them. I protect my energy from them creatures. It was like a stare of an energy vampire. Like, I want to take your shit. I put up a shield around me, made of 6,000 hertz as well as other stronger shit to keep them creatures at bay. With that being said, this motherfucker done took over. This motherfucker trying to take over my whole fucking energy, body, consciousness, and every fucking thing else. With that being said, how do I get rid of this evil motherfucker? By using that other guy's Raziel. We all have entity attachments. of different angelic beings, our ancestors living within us, from what I've learned during this curse. How do I dispatch this motherfucker? How do I get rid of him? Because I've been trying every fucking thing um, to get rid of him, and I can't figure out exactly what to do. But I'm gonna say this right now: a warning: avoid Venus like the plague. They're innately evil. Peace. We also wanted to go ahead and mention that this Dan Cienega also attempted to kill my father while he was sleeping. He's been going around in the area where I live on Fig in the spirit world, stealing a lot of black people's spiritual powers and abilities. And this entity, who's actually a real living person, has been trying to take over my consciousness. With that being said, another thing I want to mention about him as well is that in addition to that, these fucking wetbacks have been working with in the spirit plane. I hate to say it, Baron Samity. Very, very evil entities that's been latched on to me, especially that evil motherfucker. So with that being said, if anybody has any suggestions, I'm going to say this: 113, 111.5 hertz or some wetbacks to get them out your face, along with 113, along with 6,000 hertz